Hello, and welcome to Rock the Cash Bar. I'm Ben Mowbray.
And I'm Dianne Gallagher.
Every week, we pick one song and do a deep dive into the lyrics and explore the different ways they've been interpreted.
We will also discuss how the song connected to us on a personal level, focusing on all the embarrassing details.
Glad to have you here. Now enjoy the show. I'm a man.
All right.
I'm a man.
You're a man.
Yeah. Is it weird asserting your masculinity? Is that a strange way to start a conversation?
It didn't really feel that way to me. I'm not scared, but
Okay. I'm just saying that I'm a man.
Okay.
I like to watch sports where other men get hurt.
Okay.
I find chopping firewood to be very relaxing.
Okay.
I have a wiry patch of hair on my chest.
Very manly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I give my opinions freely while withholding my emotions.
Yeah.
I'm a masculine, manly man.
Oh, I see it now.
Last night, I watched the NFL draft, which is like the closest thing that our culture has to a knighthood ceremony. And I was drinking Scotch whiskey and enjoying it with other men.
I can smell the musk coming through this Zoom.
Damn right you can.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we're talking about Adele.
Woohoo!
Right? Apropos of nothing, we're talking about Adele. Welcome to episode 7 of Rock the Cash Bar.
Hey, man.
Today's episode, we are going to roll through the deep. How are you, Dianne?
I'm good. I'm ready to roll in the deep. I'm having a great day. I'm having a great morning. Spent some time in my swimming pool. I'm drinking a Mexican beer. It's a good day to talk about Adele.
I want to drink a Mexican beer by the pool so badly.
Well,
I'm thinking about throwing a party, like we can do the social distancing and everything like that. But in order to come into my house and join the party, you have to submit to being shot at with my super soaker full of rubbing alcohol.
I'll do it.
Come on in. Put the goggles on. It's gonna sting on any open wounds.
I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we get into this, we have a really funny dressed up like a douche from our mutual friend and former comedian, Craig Bischoff. It's a simple little sweet one. The song Amadeus by Falco, Rock Me Amadeus, he heard as Rock Me Hot Potatoes, which is fun.
It's the most Craig thing ever. I'm sure he probably still does sing it that way.
Oh,
Rock Me Potatoes, hot potatoes, hot potatoes, hot potatoes. It works much better that way. That's what I'm going to sing with it every time I hear that song now. And that is on my regular playlist. Rock Me Hot Potatoes.
All
Rolling
right.
in the Deep is quite the song, man. This one changed. I didn't, once I looked at the lyrics and thought about it for a bit, I kind of walked away with a changed opinion of this song. I mean, I've heard it like everybody. I've heard it thousands of times. I thought I had a pretty good handle on it, but I did not.
Well, I was always kind of confused about this song. Just like everybody, it doesn't matter what genre of music you think you like or you lean towards. Adele is for everybody. Adele is so fucking good. And I just, you hear the power and the emotion in all of her songs. And I just remember hearing the song and thinking, okay, she's got a heavy emotion here, but I don't know what rolling in the deep means.
I remember this is probably off the top of my head, this is the only song I can think of where I literally remember the first time I heard it. I remember
really?
where I was. I remember what I was doing. This song was released in November of 2010. So I guess when I first heard it, it must have been somewhere around there, the winter of 2010, Christmas 2010, going into the winter of 2011. I was working for a real estate company, a construction company, and I was driving a truck. And there was a trailer loaded up with lumber that I was taking over to the job site. And I was feeling very, very manly and rough and everything like that, and doing that. And then and it was weird because I'm not a rough and tumble guy. Like I would have to drive the truck, pulling the trailer up to the job site, and then I have to get out and let a real man park it for me because I didn't know how to reverse like the whole low trailer. I could definitely lose a lot. Super embarrassing. But I was driving back and I was listening to the radio and this song came on. I'd never heard it before. I didn't know who Adele was. I didn't know anything about it, but it's just got that it has that drum beat. So I started beating the steering wheel with it. And of course, you instantaneously fall in love with that world-class voice. Just
Mm-hmm.
absolutely amazing. When she starts hitting those huge, big, breathy choruses, it just started to like overtake me in a really weird way. And I'm driving this truck with this trailer that I don't really know how to how to operate. And I felt myself having like, oh my God, I'm having an emotional event. Like I
Uh-oh.
literally had to pull over to the side of the road into a parking lot, listen to the rest of the song. By the time it was over, I was near tears, just absolutely loving it. Like I didn't know who it was. They didn't tell me because like it's the number one song in the country at that point. There's no
Yeah.
reason to say this is Adele Rolling in the Deep because everybody knows it. So I spent the whole day going like, I don't know who that woman was or what just happened to me, but I'm a different person now somehow.
Uh-oh. Did you go like download an album?
Yeah, I pretty much immediately went home and got on the computers. Like, I got to find out who that was. And then shortly after that, I found out, no, this is the biggest song in the nation right now. This is the biggest artist. This is a song that everybody knows. You didn't just discover some uncut gem. This is something
You're
that we're
late to the
all
game.
over.
Yeah, I'm always late to the game because I don't listen to new music anymore. Even back in 2010, I remember I was at my office and I somehow this another song on that album, Someone Like You, broke through to my ears and I fell in love with that song and then downloaded the album and heard everything.
Hmm.
But every single song on that album is powerful. She even does a cover of The Cure's Love Song, which is she made it all jazzy and loungy and nice.
Oh man, I didn't know that. That's gonna be a heartbreaking song. I love song.
Yeah.
That was okay. I gotta listen to that one. I'm making a note. It's on my list. Love song by Adele.
It's so it's so easy to love Adele, and I love that she names her albums after her age when she wrote the song. So this one was from 21,
Mm-hmm.
and the, I just have in my notes that Adele was inebriated while writing the majority of 21, drinking 2 bottles of wine and chain smoking on a regular basis. And she's quoted as saying, "A drunk tongue is an honest one." She told
I
that to
love that.
Vanity Fair, which is so true.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "I can see from an outsider's perspective that I will never write songs as good as the ones on 21, but I'm not as an indulgent as I was then, and I don't have time to fall apart like I did," which I think
Mm-hmm.
resonates with everyone in their 20s.
Yep. And I think every artist, like you have in order to make vital art, you have to be feeling things immediately. And
Yeah,
sadly, at the older you get, the less immediate your feelings are. Like the deeper your emotions get, but they don't have that. This needs to be acted on. You know,
right,
you're mature enough to go, okay, this is just a feeling that I'm happening and that's happening to me, and this emotion will pass.
right. And the
So
older you get, you kind of just see that as brat behavior too. Like,
yep.
you can't just get drunk and scream at your ex. You can't do that.
Shall we
But
get into the lyrics?
sure. Oh crap. I'm gonna have to follow your lead. For some reason my printer wasn't working. I could print my notes, but not my lyrics. But I'll
No
go with
worries.
your lead.
I think everybody knows the lyrics to this song by heart by now. Rolling in the deep. It's going to be hard not to sing this one, or to go with the beat. That there's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch. It's bringing me out the dark. So great opening lines. Like you
Oof.
kind of get where this is going, right?
Yep.
There's a bit like there's a fire in your heart. That's not good. Reaching a fever pitch, very bad. But then it's positive. It's bringing me out the dark. So it sort of establishes right away that this is a song about broken love, but there might be some redemption to it. Finally, I see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your shit bare. This was like when I first started reading the lyrics a couple of days ago to this one. That was when the worm started to turn for me, because I always thought of this song as, you know, as a doomed love song, as a remorseful love song. I
Me
didn't
too.
see it as vindictive.
I
As
didn't either. I thought she was just trying to be like, we could have had something, but we lost it. And then I'm like, no, she's pissed. This is a revenge I hate you song.
Yeah, in the verses, it is dark. See how I leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. It's a vicious kiss off song.
He's threatening.
Yeah, I thought it was romantic. I thought it was like a torch song. I thought it was, you know, sort of just like, oh, you know, the good love gone bad. That's not what's happening here at all.
Nope.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and bringing me out the dark. Then it gets into that great big chorus, right? It says, the scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling that we could have had it all. That's what I always thought of this song. I only thought of those 4 lines. That
Me
was
too.
the moral that I took away from it. It was just like, oh, this is just a,
It
you know,
sounds sorrowful. She misses their love. It scarred her. You know, she loved him. That's what I took away from the song because I didn't really pay attention to the whole thing.
yeah, I always thought of it as Adele as like wounded songbird Adele. I didn't think of it as
Yeah.
Adele filled with righteous indignation and furious anger.
Oof.
This is the sort of the backup vocal say, "You're gonna wish you had never met me," which
Mm-hmm.
it's not a real funny misheard lyric, but I always thought that I never really, in my head, I always was singing a "Never Had a Bad Beat,"
Never
which is
had a
kind of
bad
like
beat.
"Never had a bad beat rolling in." Like I thought that was her saying like, "This is my first bad breakup. This is the first time that I've been beaten badly," but it's not. It's "You're gonna wish you had never met me."
You
Like,
shit.
yikes. I don't like the psycho ex-girlfriend tropes because people react differently when they're hurt and when they're close to somebody. Like it's not, you don't judge people based on how they react when they're in a, in a high emotional state. Like I hate to use that term, but this really does have a kind of like a psycho ex sort of feel to it when you read
Right.
it literally. I think
Man
when you
or
hear her
woman.
voice,
Many men have gone crazy too.
oh, without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Mm. You had my heart inside of your hand. And again, in the background, you had my heart inside of your hand. You're going to wish you'd never met me. And you played it to the beat, which I think is just a great lyric. Like I really like,
Yeah.
because not only do hearts beat, but men play with women's hearts. Like this is a really,
You know,
this
I
is a
think
really,
I had a misheard lyric there. I think I used to think, and you paid it to the thieves. And I was like, I don't know what that means.
you paid it to the thieves. I like
Yeah.
that. That
Yeah.
has a poetic ring to it. And you paid it to the thieves.
Right.
I always thought it was that you had my heart and soul in your hand.
Well,
I
that
didn't
makes
realize it was.
sense.
It's a small difference. You had your heart inside of my hand is more accurate. It's a much cleaner way of saying things. But then we come into the next verse, and this is where Adele really starts getting the knives out, man. It's like, baby, I have a story to be told, but I've heard one on you, and that's excuse me. Baby, I have no story to be told, but I've heard one on you, and I'm gonna make your head burn. Think of me in the depths of your despair. Make a home there, as mine sure won't be shared. You're like, yikes. Like this
Whoa.
woman is done with this guy.
Yeah.
Like not like she wants to hurt him. Not only does she want to hurt him now, she wants him to stay hurt. That is such a like, think of me in the depths of your despair. Make a home down there, as mine sure won't be shared. That's such an insane thing to, like, the depth of that anger, the depth of that hurt. Like I always thought it was just Adele's voice. I thought she was just like, it's an odd thing. Like she's just so good at feeling things
Right.
that like
And
I thought it
that's
was her voice that gave the song the depth. But when you look at the words, you're like, oh no, this is as cutting as.
that's such a poetic pain, revenge. I mean, I always thought of myself as a wordsmith, and I don't think I could have come up to with anything close to that at 21 years old.
Mm-hmm. Drunk or not.
Yeah. Oh God.
It
Definitely
goes to
not
the
drunk.
chorus again. And again, the chorus is kind of hopeful. This, well, I mean, it's doomed love, but the scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. So it's just like, oh, we were so good together. We almost had it. But she's not talking about that. She's not talking to a guy like that anymore.
No.
Like something is absolutely ruptured in this relationship, or the guy has revealed himself to be something that he wasn't to begin with. But to say that we almost had it all about a guy just a second ago, you're saying, make a home down there, your misery. Anyway, so the second verse, or the third verse is, throw your soul through every open door, count your blessings to find what you look for, turn my sorrow into treasured gold, you'll pay me back in kind and reap just what you sow. That's even more brutal. That's,
I'm kind of getting lost on that. Go right before the gold line. Say that one again.
she says, throw your soul through every open door,
Okay.
count your blessings to find what you look for, turn my sorrow into treasured gold, you'll pay me back in kind and reap what you sow.
I don't
So I
think
think
I
what she's saying,
understand that.
well, when she says, I think what she's saying when she says throw your soul through every open door is basically she's saying like go and seek new relationships.
Hmm.
Go and like chase after every woman you see. Every time you feel yourself falling in love, go ahead and explore that. Go. I think what she's telling this man is to go do what I've done. Like I think she's saying like, hey, I trusted you. This is what I did. She goes, turn my sorrow into treasured gold. Count your blessings to find what you look for. Turn my sorrow into treasured gold. That's what she's doing with this song.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
she's taking the pain that she got from throwing her own soul. She's advising the guy to go do what she has herself done. She's advising the guy to go feel the pain that she's feeling right now. And then she
Okay.
says, you'll pay me back in kind and reap just what you sow.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't have my lyric notes in front of me, but I don't even know if it's worth mentioning. The whole reaping what you sow comes directly from the Bible. There's a whole
Sure.
verse on that.
Mhm.
People
I
can look.
think what she's saying there is once you're hurting as bad as I'm hurting now, that's when you'll pay me back. Like we're not even until you hurt as bad as I
Got
am
it.
hurt right now.
Got
Like
it.
that's what at least that's what I took away from that. And those are the lyrics to Rolling in the Deep. It's an insanely this song is so much more, I guess vicious is the word that I'm going to use. It's so much more vicious than I thought it was. I thought of it as a very sweet song and a wonderful, once in a generation voice. But it's a vicious mother. I was thinking, like, this is obviously it's a breakup song. I've never had a breakup this bad. Like, I've never come out of a relationship. I've come out of relationships hurt. I've come out of relationships, worried about myself and feeling
Right.
regretful about things that I've done and things that I've said. But I've never come out of a relationship looking back on it going, I wish you nothing but pain and misery.
I haven't, but I think the guy I broke up with may have felt that way about me. Someone may have written this or had these general feelings about me. I don't know. I know like one of my exes threw a chair across the living room when we were breaking up. So I think he was pretty upset with me. But
Pretty upset.
I
I've
think I
never
earned it.
I've never thrown furniture. I punched a fridge once.
How'd that feel?
Not good.
Yeah,
Not
hurts.
good. I felt like it was one of those things, like when you do something like that, at least to me, like the second that you do it, you're immediately regretful. You're just like,
Yeah.
what kind of childishness is this? Like, what am I trying to accomplish? Am I trying to scare her? Like, what am I doing?
Right.
What was the
Well,
so
as vicious as she was with her lyrics, she also kind of was respectful with him because from what I'm understanding, she's mad because he was unfaithful. I think the guy
mhm,
cheated. And she
yeah.
didn't specifically say that in the lyrics. And she could have really just told the world, like, this is what he did to me. But she didn't. She just left it vague for like, we don't know what he did so wrong. But, in research, we
Mhm.
do.
Well, it's almost like she's warning him, like in the first verse, she's kind of warning him to keep his mouth shut. Like, finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your shit bare.
Yeah, I'll tell everybody.
Yeah, which is kind of that's the sort of the weird bargain that you make when you're ending a serious relationship.
Yeah,
Like once you've been with somebody for a couple of years, you've been intimate with them, you've shared your life with them, they know things about you that nobody else knows.
right.
And you're really trusting them to like all right, go into the world and please, everything that we trusted each other with inside of our relationship, you still have to have that responsibility to maintain that trust and those secrets even after the breakup is done.
And also, you promise you deleted that sex tape, right? Like you promise.
I'll do it, but this better not end up online.
um, so, okay, back to me not knowing what rolling in the deep actually meant. I think I wasn't alone here because she had to explain it. In Rolling Stone, she described it as an adaptation of a kind of a slang slur phrase in the UK called roll deep, which means to have someone always having that someone having your back and you're never on your own. If you're ever in trouble, you always got someone who's going to come and help you fight whatever it is. So that's what she
Liverpool, you'll
thought
never
she had.
walk alone.
Yeah. And
I
she
absolutely,
wrote this song in 3 hours the day after she broke up with her boyfriend.
which is crazy because it's phrased so beautifully. Like it's almost it kind of has like a real Shakespearean sort of bent to it. The rhyming scheme is nice. The phrasing is almost perfect.
And I will say she doesn't write it completely alone. She wrote it with her producer, Paul Epworth, who
Mm.
I think she was kind of doing more of a forlorn love ballad, and he persuaded her to be a little more feisty. I think he could probably see like, no, you're mad. Be mad, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like he's doing like the male best friend thing, in
Mm-hmm.
a way, which is like don't own your feelings, girl. Like it's
Yeah.
okay. Like you can get angry. It's fine.
Yeah.
And look at the negative things. If you don't examine your negative feelings, they're going to come back and swallow you whole.
Yeah. Which I
Who
think,
is this guy?
good for
Did you
him.
find it? I was looking to see like who inspired Rolling in the Deep, and I couldn't find anything.
Well, what I have here, it was the breakup. Now, who is the song about? According to the New York Post, the former boyfriend who inspired much of 21 is a British musician actor named Slinky Winfield. Unfortunate. Hold on, there's two. I don't know. Like I don't know for sure. So Slinky Winfield, who was part of Adele's South London circle of friends, Heat magazine threw out a different name, identifying the man that inspired this and the other heartbreaking songs to be photographer Alex Sturrock. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Mhm.
According to the UK tabloid, Adele and Sturrock dated from the summer of 2008 to April 2009. So I don't know who either one of these guys is. Slinky is an unfortunate name,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm voting for Slinky. As far as I'm concerned, it's Slinky Winfield.
Slinky just sounds like a guy that would cheat on Adele.
It'd just be the great. Like, here's one of the greatest breakup or love songs of all time, and it's Slinky. It's just
Oh,
some guy, just some broken dude sitting at the end of the bar, just like, yeah, Rolling Deep is about me.
here's another fun fact that speaking to the Daily Mail's Sebastian Shakespeare, um, Mark Franklin recalled how Adele laid down her vocals for this song in comfort. She would be writing, sat on the sofa with her dog in her lap. He remembered. At one point, she goes, "I've got something. Let's give it a go." So we swung the microphone around to her. She didn't move from the sofa. She sang 2 takes of Rolling in the Deep, and that was it. And what's on the record. What?
Wow,
Are you
can you
serious?
crazy to get it in just two? And also, can you imagine being Adele's dog? Like, dogs can feel your emotions. Dogs are empathetic. This poor dog has got to be the repository of everything that Adele is feeling. That
I'm
poor animal.
surprised. I'm surprised the recording went well. Like he wasn't trying to lick her in the mouth as she's singing.
Yeah. It's all right, Mom. It's all right.
So
We got to
this,
go rescue Adele's dog. That is too much.
well, this is probably too much information about me, but my therapist that I go to has an emotional support dog in the room. And whenever you start feeling your feelings, that dog will get in your face. And sometimes you have to be like, okay, buddy, I'm okay, sit.
Yeah. You don't need to rescue me.
Yeah. It's really sweet though. Oh, and so
Grab a,
this is mind blowing to me. This song was covered by Aretha Franklin on her 2014 album. She just said she absolutely loved the CD and she had to do this song. And I'm like, damn, like what 21-year-old produces a song that Aretha Franklin is like, I have
yep,
to cover this?
that's crazy.
I
I
would feel
think
so unworthy.
Aretha Franklin, I was reading, I forget what song it was that I was rehearsing. I'm probably going to get this wrong. We're going to have to go back and check the details on it. But Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul, right? I
Yeah,
forget why I
yeah.
was reading this, but it was like she had to, because she was the queen of soul, she felt like it was almost like Game of Thrones, like she had to keep the crown, right? So
Right.
apparently Aretha Franklin has done some like really strange like status holding power moves. Like
Like
I think
diva moves. Was she
like diva
sort of
moves.
one?
Like I think it was Dionne Warwick or somebody. I'm gonna have
Mm.
to look this up, but somebody released a song like in the late '60s that was really like challenging Aretha, but Aretha went back and recorded it and had a bigger hit with it, and she like the very next year, and she did it
Oh no.
deliberately to say like I can do this better than you. So I think it's
Power
late enough.
move.
Exactly. It could be that Aretha was making a power move on Adele, saying like, "Oh, you think so?" Which
Oh.
is still just a huge big compliment because Adele's this 21-year-old wonder kid who comes out, and then a legend like Aretha Franklin has to go, "Oh no, no,
Let me show
stay
you how this
behind
is
me,
done.
stay in your lane, Adele." The
Oh, that's awesome. Speak,
queen isn't ready to give up her crown yet.
speaking of, I didn't, you never know like who writes their songs and who doesn't. Like I didn't know for the longest time that Elton John didn't write his songs, but I was thinking about doing Aretha as an episode once, just doing slight research, and she didn't write Respect. Do you know who did?
No, I know the story behind it because Respect was originally written by a man, like it was
Yeah.
from a man's point of view, and the I think if I remember right, the meaning of the song is completely different because like the guy was like it was from the point of view of like a traveling musician or a traveling salesman or somebody like that, and what the song was meant to say from the male perspective was like, look, I'm going to leave the house, and what I do outside of this fence, what I do outside of the yard is none of your business. When I come home, I expect respect.
Woo! Yeah, Otis Redding wrote it.
Was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's really cool to take it and flip it and make it more of a feminist, like, no, you respect me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really tight turnaround. Rolling in the Deep always like it makes me. I don't know where I picked it up because I'm not a very religious person, but there's a phrase that always stuck with me from the Torah, and it was something like, "We must be careful when we make women cry because the Lord counts their tears." And this is like I
Nice.
was just that one always just struck me as just like, well, there's a sentence you need to remember.
Oh,
You
shit.
need to remember, you irresponsible and feckless young man. Like,
I don't really
but I
consider myself a hardcore feminist, but I think some feminists would be like, well, that doesn't make us equals. They make us look like these, little birds that you can't hurt. But still, part
yeah.
of me is just like, yeah, don't make us cry.
You should be paying attention to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Such a brutal song. I was a couple of things that I kind of found interesting about this one. There's somebody on the internet that has made a Rolling in the Deep and Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones mashup.
It's
It
great.
never occurred to me, but the songs do sound really, really similar. And it doesn't, you can't improve Rolling in the Deep. It's a perfect song, but
Right.
it's a really neat mashup. Like it makes you think of it in a different direction. It's almost like the guy, because Gimme Shelter's from a male perspective, it's almost like that guy, like the guy wrote "Gimme Shelter" and this is the response song. It's
Right.
almost like this is a relationship between Mick Jagger and Adele. You can kind of see it, like, because "Gimme Shelter" is just all about this guy who the world's gone crazy and he's just looking for any port in a storm. He's looking for some relief. He's looking for some release. He's looking, he's a man who needs a woman
Yeah.
just for now, just for tonight. He's not taking it seriously. And I think Rolling in the Deep is kind of the response to that sort of, pardon my language, mom, but that sort of fuckboy mentality.
That's great. Yeah, I love a good matchup like that when they did I use the wrong word? Matchup. What's the word?
Mashup.
Mashup. Love a good
Mashup.
mashup.
Like when they come together. Yes.
You also sent me, so Ben sent me that clip and it's fantastic. You should look it up on YouTube. And then he also sent me a clip that someone put together of all of Adele's cackles.
She's got the greatest laugh. That English belly laugh that comes all the way up from her feet.
Oh, that's what makes her, it makes you love her more, knowing that she has a foul mouth and she smokes and she drinks and she's just like, ah, when she laughs. And then she writes this timeless music. And it would make you kind of distance yourself from her and not like her if she was always very poised and, you know, thought of herself as, higher class, but she doesn't. And that just
Yeah.
makes the music so much better.
You kind of expect, like when you hear her voice, you kind of expect that diva-ness or it's like some real British imperiousness.
Right.
Like she might have like that Kate Blanchett sort of, like I'll cut you, especially when you read the lyrics to Rolling in the Deep. But then you hear her laugh and you see just how like wide open she is. It's like, oh, this is just an adorable person.
Yeah, I just want to go drink with her at the bar and talk shit about people in the bar all night long.
Oh, she'd be the best to drink with.
The best.
That laugh, I mean, honestly, like with a voice that big, with a diaphragm that powerful, like gotta have to go along with it. Adele's laugh has got to be something else. Aretha Franklin's laugh must be something. Did Whitney
Yep.
Houston ever laugh? I'd like to make Whitney Houston laugh.
You love Whitney.
I can't help but love Whitney.
Apparently Bobby Brown made her laugh.
Slinky Winfield, wherever Slinky Winfield is. That's how weird would it, like you're Adele, so you've written this great song, you're probably never going to write a better song than that. I mean, you can keep trying because it's the thing that you do. But if you're Slinky Winfield, struggling musician and actor, to know, like he's got to be 31 or 32 now, right?
Yeah.
So he's just got to be, so there's like, this is the only thing I'll ever be known for. Like I will always be the guy from Rolling in the Deep. I can't escape it. It's going to follow him around like a golem to the end of his days.
Now it makes me obsessed. Like I want to write a book on all, like Taylor Swift writes about all her boyfriends, and Phil Collins wrote that song about his wife. Like I want to write a book on follow up on all the people these hit songs were on, and like, how you doing? How'd you get through life with being the bad guy?
You're holding it. Of course, the first call is going to be made to Dave Coulier. I'm sure he's just sick of answering questions about that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was.
I saw a stand-up years ago when that song was big. His big joke was just like, well, I'm here to remind you, as if this guy needs a reminder. He's got it all figured out.
That was great. Oh, Dave. Whenever you first heard that song, that is not who you pictured her yelling at.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I was just saying, we need to do an episode of the jilted love song. Like, who is that song about? You can do You're So Vain. We can do You Ought to Know. Like, I always love the criticism that people make of You're So Vain. They're just like, well, I mean, ultimately the song is about him.
It is about him. He was right.
Yeah, but that's one of those things where just like, yeah, you're right, but you got to give that a quarter turn, to get to the truth. Like, obviously the idea is the guy is listening to the song going, it must be about, like, he is that vain. It doesn't matter that the song is about him. It's the fact that he's thinking about that.
Yep. That's a great song. Maybe that's something we can have our Patreon members vote on.
Hey guys, it's Dianne. Real quick, we just wanted to let you know that we now have a Patreon page. If you go to patreon.com/rockthecashbar, you will find us. And right now we only have one tier, and it's $5 a month. And for that $5 a month, Patreon members will receive early access to all episodes. You will receive Rock the Cash Bar swag. And the biggest one is that you will have the opportunity to vote on future songs of the week. Yes, you will be the deciding factor on which episodes we do next. Ben and I will throw out 3 songs that we've been thinking about doing, and you guys will be the deciding factor. So I think that's a pretty good perk. I want you guys to be a part of this. So again, patreon.com/rockthecashbar. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much to our old friend Robin Weinberg. He was the first to sign up for our Patreon. Thank you, Robin.
And you know what? I don't think I ever said a special thank you to Sara Wessling for doing our guilty pleasure voice. Guilty
pleasure.
Sara Wessling is the wife of John Wessling, our buddy and comedian, and their household has 4 podcasts going on right now? I can't even keep up.
I think they've got 4 kids and 6 people living in the house, and I think all 6 of them have a podcast right now.
We should give a shout out to them. Go look at their podcast. I know that John's is called After Later. Yeah. And I have to look up Sarah's. I'll give out Sarah's on the next
from the Apocalypse.
Yes.
I'm jealous of Sarah's kids because that smoky voice reading you a bedtime story.
Oh gosh, they're gonna grow up a little confused. Bedtime stories are on. All right, Ben, are you ready to do guilty pleasure songs?
Guilty pleasures.
I am ready to do guilty pleasure song, and I feel bad again. I'm always with my guilty. I've decided I'm expanding my definition of my guilty pleasure song. My guilty pleasure song for me is anything that I wouldn't listen to with the windows down.
Okay.
Like if I feel the need to roll the windows up, it's a guilty pleasure song. So today I rise in defense of a band that I think has had a really rough go of it. And I think it was just one line in one movie that ruined it for him. But I rise in defense of all things Coldplay. My guilty pleasure song is Clocks and/or Yellow.
Oh, I didn't know people did not like Coldplay. I thought you were about to say Nickelback or something.
Oh, they're absolutely resented in certain circles. It was in the 40-year-old Virgin. There's a line where they're playing video games. I think it's Paul Rudd that says, "You know how I know you're gay? You listen to Coldplay." And that was it. No dudes are allowed to listen to Coldplay ever again.
It's so weird, these bands that people decide to hate, like Nickelback, and apparently some people don't like Coldplay. When you always look at these bands and you're like, yeah, they don't care. They're millionaires and they sell out stadiums.
I have it in for Nickelback just because they're boring. Like and some of the songs that they were like, why would you write a whole song about that? Like you spent, like, it's weird. Like I don't get angry at movies or books or any other form of art. But if somebody writes a song that I think is stupid, it just makes me mad. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And then they write it over and over and over. That's the big beef with Nickelback, is just like, the same song again, huh? Like they all just sound the same.
Here we go one more time. What's your guilty pleasure song?
Okay, well, mine's a guilty pleasure song. Again, a band that was very popular, but I just never considered myself to like the genre of hair metal or glam rock. It's
Mhm.
just kind of, you make fun of the Poisons and the Cinderellas and the Motley Crues sometimes, but every now and then, man, those dudes could just whip out a ballad, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I like it, I'm gonna sing it. So mine is Skid Row's "I Remember You."
Oh, sing a couple of bars. I know it's in my brain.
I remember
Oh,
you
yes.
today. He gets so high, I can't do it. Now, he had a great vocal range, Sebastian Bach, and he was hot. I'm sorry, he was hot. And it's a really good song. And the video had like this homeless guy like burning pictures of him and a girl when they were younger in like this trash can. And it's all, a guy remembering an old love. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand, love letters in the sand. I remember you. It's a sweet ass song. Go
Not a
listen
fan
to
of
it.
things
It's
like that.
good.
I would blast it out all the time. Who wouldn't want to get together with four of your best friends and start ripping ladies' hearts apart?
Guilty pleasures.
Well, that is rolling in the deep. Sleep with one eye open, Slinky Winfield.
Sorry, Slinky. Watch your ass.
Vogue.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of Rock the Cash Bar. Tune in every Monday to find out the new song of the week. Send us an email at rockthecashbarpodcast@gmail.com and tell us your personal misheard lyrics so we can read them on the podcast. You can also reach us at Twitter and Instagram at rockthecashbarpodcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcast or wherever this podcast was downloaded.